So Reed, can you do some of your famous hand gestures for me? I'm mirroring you, which is a technique designed to gain your empathy, so later on I can influence you into doing something I want you to do. And Marion,
yes,
you're going to be voting for Hillary Clinton like me, right?
Oh, you wouldn't catch me.
You know, Oprah Winfrey is voting for Hillary Clinton, so? And if she's good enough for Oprah, then she should be good enough for you.
No, thank you. But Oprah might have her opinion.
What do you mean, Marion, that herd behavior doesn't sway you? Does persuasion have to be sneakily manipulative? Doesn't stuff like that annoy you and insult your intelligence? And while we're talking about annoyance, doesn't it really bother you when people don't agree with your opinion, or maybe that they try to impose their opinion on you? I'm going to share some Facebook posts with you tonight, and I hope they don't offend you too much. These are actually posts from my friends. My friend John, who is Catholic and his religion is the center of his life and is also socially and politically conservative, posted something on Facebook that resulted in a slew of almost 100 responses. And I'm going to read you John's original post, and I'm going to read you my friend Sandy's response. And Sandy, although she's John's friend too, she is a liberal humanist and she's gay. So here's John's post. Say what you want, but the truth remains that no gay act will ever generate a new human person. For that reason, the court's ruling on marriage today was intensely anti-personal. Can you hear me? And laws that fail to promote the good of the human person are not laws at all. They are to be disobeyed and resisted at every turn, even to the point of death. The foundation of the state, the natural family, is now an enemy of the state. Let's fight. And this is Sandy's response to John's post. Wow. A post like this shows that religion causes most of the hate and war in the world. You want to resist and fight even to the point of death? Strange how my ability to have the same rights in the U.S. for my family as you have for yours is such a threat. Well, I will continue to be happy and focus on the good in the world. You go crazy. Oh, never mind, you already are. Now, do you think this exchange ended up in anyone being influenced or swayed by the other? Well, actually, it didn't. Actually, it resulted in a virtual screaming match with the members of two distinct camps vying to outshout each other until they grew hoarse and had to log off their respective devices. At the moment I was observing this flame war, I wanted to reach out to the Ethernet and tickle John and Sandy because I knew they were really good friends and they'd laughed together a lot. John, over the years, had taught her son drums and come to her house many times. If only I were more clever. Someone said about satire that first it makes you laugh, but then it makes you think. Satire might not change your mind if your opinion's already made up, but laughing can disarm you, and when you stop fighting, your mind opens and you're able to think. Of course, to understand and appreciate satire, a sense of humor is required, which I don't know that John has. Arguably, the most famous example of satire in the English language is Jonathan Swift's essay, A Modest Proposal. Like a lot of satire and humor in general, it's in terribly poor taste, that essay. Swift suggests that the impoverished Irish might solve their economic problems by selling their children for food for the rich. Swift's essay, of course, mocks the heartless attitudes towards the poor as well as Irish social policy in general. But the essay did evoke a strong public response, and it's kind of funny, in part because a lot of people thought he was seriously endorsing cannibalism as a solution to poverty. Now, I don't think you can blame people for taking him seriously. Where you end up in terms of what you think is plausible can be influenced by where you start out. Me, for example, if out of context I'd read about Hitler's The Final Solution proposed in an essay, I would have thought it was so preposterous that it was really just satire. Now, for me in the internet, there's a medical and social issue that I follow and find myself getting really worked up about when I read an article and find people posting comments that I disagree with. and offend my sensibility. Recently, I came across an article with one such comment, and the article was a scientific one about HIV. So here's the comment that pissed me off. Most of the woes that plague mankind are the result of stupidity. I don't necessarily disagree. AIDS is no exclusion to this phenomenon. Rather than waste research funds on a cure for HIV, this money could be better invested in a cure for cancer. I say good riddance to that cross-section of society that is too stupid to live a healthy, moral, and productive existence. So here's my lame attempt at satire, another modest proposal. For preventing those living with HIV across the world from being a burden on society and making them beneficial to the public, I do therefore humbly offer it to public consideration that every HIV-positive individual be euthanized post-haste. In doing so, we'd not only be acting out of kindness, but also saving countless dollars worldwide on health care, while simultaneously stamping out the problem of stupidity, wrong-headedness, and bad driving, which is, after all, just another symptom of stupidity. Since there are approximately 35 million HIV-positive people worldwide, this would also help with overpopulation. It would particularly leave the continent of Africa wide open for the smart people to land grab, since 69% of infections reside there. While this may sound greedy, the clever among us know that there is a historical precedence for land grabbing. As well, if there was no HIV/AIDS, we'd have a cure for cancer yesterday. And we have to think on this carefully because it might counteract our progress in the overpopulation area. Social Darwinism is a slippery slope. By eliminating the dregs of society, such as some of the well-known among the idiots who have already succumbed to AIDS, Isaac Asimov, Liberace, Freddie Mercury, Anthony Perkins, Perry Ellis, the list of no-good parasites goes on and on, would certainly contribute to raising the IQ of the average human. From there, with an elevated human IQ, what future progress might we witness in the areas of literature, science, music, drama, and fashion, to name a few? We'll spare Magic Johnson, though, out of the intelligentsia's fondness for basketball. But we can make magic useful by performing medical experimentation on him, with worthy cancer drugs and such. So it was indeed a lame attempt at satire. Maybe just screaming would have been more effective. What do you think?